Welch. I'm an interior designer and a set designer. I live in New York City, and honestly, I like to call myself a magician. I feel like as an interior designer, so much of my job is making magic happen. We're at the Hampton Designer Show House. This is an amazing opportunity. Traditional Home magazine puts on an event for the Stony Brook Southampton Hospital. And essentially this charity, is raising money for the hospital, and they do it through interior design. So essentially you have about 20 interior designers. Everybody has a room in this house, and we all have the amazing opportunity just to showcase our talent for such a great cause. So there are about 20 interior designers, but the moment that we've all been waiting for, of course, is to see the Mikel Welch designs, which is myself. But I'm very excited. So I have a guest bedroom, and I like to call it the junior master. I treated it as such. The thing about the design process, each designer is actually called in 3 months in advance. So you have a lot of time to actually plan this room out. And there's like so much that you can do in such a short amount of time. So for me, I really wanted to create something that was extremely tranquil. Living in New York, you have all this sensory overload. And what I wanted was a space where if I were in the Hamptons, what would be my area where I could just completely zone out and detox? And so that's exactly what I decided to do with the space. I went with really deep saturated tones. I have a rich earthy gray, and that was kind of like the starting point for the room. One of the things that I really wanted to do was to take advantage of the vertical space. So when I began my design process, obviously this is a bedroom, so the first thing that you need to focus on is the actual bed. So I was leaving the D&D building, and I walked past Ethan Allen, and I see this amazing headboard as I'm walking past the window. So I run into the store and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to have this Jensen headboard. I mean, it was just perfect. It was a nice combination of, woven, and it had, beautiful buttons. I mean, the detail was exquisite. So of course, now that I have this beautiful headboard, it's like, how can you help this out? The room has 14-foot ceilings. And that's massive, and me being an interior designer and a set designer, I'm all about drama. So I said the best way to bring drama into this room would be to actually work from the ground up. And I did 14-foot custom drapery that kind of encompasses the entire bed and kind of like a canopy, if you will. And that is like drama, and I absolutely love it. As I begin to continue with the design process, I wanted to continue with the whole, 14-foot ceilings. And I keep saying that because 14-foot ceilings can be very difficult to design around. So I wanted to, grab the bull by the horns and just take it straight on. So I found 3 beautiful 18th century Chinese paintings that were done on screens. They had already been framed, and they were 91 inches tall. And the reason I know that is because I had a beautiful Ayurvedic daybed that needed to fit directly up under the paintings, and every inch had to be accounted for. And that's tough for interior designers. Like, we like to make things pretty, but we don't want to have to deal with math. So the last thing I wanted to do was to do a mathematical equation to get the artwork right. But it all came together in the end. And I'm just really excited, that my room came together so nicely. In a show house, typically people use really light tones. They keep it light and airy. But again, I just wanted to stick to who I was as an interior designer. I think a lot of times interior designers get caught up in, certain catchwords or cliches. And for me, I didn't want to do that. I needed to stick to who I was as an interior designer, and that's honestly what I did in the space. When we talk about interior design, a big part of design is obviously function. So as I was designing my bedroom, I'm thinking, okay, we've got the bed covered. Now what else can you bring into this space? So I'm thinking, if I were here in the Hamptons, I would want a place where I can actually lounge. And I found this beautiful Melrose sofa. Ironically, it's called Melrose. It makes me think of California, just like Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive. But I love this piece because for me, it's a very tailored and regal elegance. You have these beautiful cushions, which are very firm and tight, and it's just a crisp sofa. But I also love the casualness at the bottom. of the sofa. You know, it has this slip cover like effect. So it was just a beautiful piece. It was perfect for lounging, and the color was magnificent. You know, I have rich dark grays, but I wanted something that was a little more muted. So, you know, this was just the perfect, fit for the room. So I decided to go with it. So I thought the perfect way to bring everything together was to actually bring in lightweight drapery. I wanted to create my version of a 4-poster bed without having, the bulkiness of an actual 4-poster bed. So as you see, the drapes just nicely kiss the ends of the bed, and it's just like perfect. It's one of those things where when you come in, the room is very light and it's airy, but it's moody, it's drama, it's all of those things that you want when you walk into a bedroom. All designers get asked what our design style is, and that's a tough question. I always say my design style is whatever the client is paying for, but if I had to nail one down, I would say my style is more of a transitional primitive style. I like pieces that are from the past. I like things that are old and rusty and crusty and like really have a story. But then I like to pair them with things that are nice and supple and have texture, kind of like this headboard right here. So when asked the difficult question about my favorite Ethan Allen piece, it's actually a tie. I love the Lincoln upholstered poster bed. That's actually a tongue twister. And I love the Skyla brass chandelier. I think if I could kind of pair them together, that would kind of be like the best of both worlds. I enjoy interior design. It's one of those things where I think about when I started off in my journey in interior designing. And I remember my mom telling me to find my passion in life. And she said, you will know what that passion is because it would be something that you would be willing to do for free. Now, when I was 21 years old, I really didn't understand exactly what that meant. But really what she was trying to say is, whatever you're passionate about will be something that's innate. It's an innate quality, something that you live it, you breathe it, and you're going to do it whether you're getting paid to do it or not. So interior design is just something that I absolutely love and breathe. I think for me, the biggest thing that I get out of interior design is to see the faces on my clients, when I do the big reveal. I treat each reveal just like a television moment, just to see their faces light up. I think that is the biggest thing that any designer could ask for. As an interior designer, it's your job to help somebody take a vision and to expand it. Our job is to show you, the full capacity of your room. And so for me, that's just the biggest thing. Outside of interior design, I like to call myself a foodie. I am a huge Food Network person. I love the Barefoot Contessa. I think I'm her, she's like my spirit animal. And so my favorite dish to cook is actually beef bourguignon. I will never forget, I came home from work, it was like 7 o'clock at night, and I'm like, I'm gonna be like the Barefoot Contessa and make beef bourguignon. Well, it turned out well. Just don't ever do it at 7 o'clock at night because you can't enjoy it until 2 o'clock in the morning. But I just learned a lot from that process. But if I could do anything else outside of interior design, it would probably be a chef.